This is part 1 of Remarkably Bright Creatures.
I'm so excited! Everyone's told me how good this book is, and I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
I've known about it for months, and I finally got around to reading it. And
so far, 5-star? 4?
I mean, yeah, at least a 4. So we're trying something new. This is part 1. I have not read the second half of the book. I've only read kind of the first half.
Okay.
So I don't know. I could say something, and then in the next video, I'm like, wrong. We hate them. You know what I mean?
It's possible.
So kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see how it goes.
I know. So we have Marcellus. Marcellus is a octopus.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Octopi.
No, that's plural. There's still only one of him. He's a giant Pacific octopus. The narrator for him is like just spot on. He's like, you just love him.
Sounds like an octopus.
But he's, yes. So
what does that sound like to you, listeners? Comment below. That's my octopus impression.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what I was thinking, but it wasn't.
That's what I imagine their little tentacles with all the little suction cups sound like.
I actually hate it. Please stop.
Don't. Okay, Marcellus is an octopus, so he is ridiculously smart.
Is this like fantasy?
No, and that's what I love about it. It's
like a Pixar movie.
Not even that. It's like, hey, if an octopus could have real thoughts, and if we were, because if they're that intelligent, they do. And if we could have intel on their real thoughts and they were speaking English, like this is what he would sound like. Like it's kind of cool.
So is he wise?
He's wise.
Not an owl.
Yeah, he's not like philosophical. He's not a philosopher.
What does octopus feel?
Tell us.
Oh, all right. Let's listen together.
He's really intellectual. He's very.
Wait. You said what now? He's what?
Intellectual?
Isn't it analytical?
Or intellectual?
Or do you know a word we don't?
Yeah.
I don't know. Please Google it.
Intellectual?
I feel like I'm right. But I could totally see myself mixing those two words.
But what does it mean to you? What? Use it in a sentence. Like,
how does it make you feel?
No. Intellectual, what does it mean? And then we can tell you confidently if it's wrong.
He's like very... Humans are intelligent, but they ask each other what the weather is every single day. Like, why would they do that?
So very like
outside.
Very like logical.
Yes.
Okay.
It says intellectual is a word in the Urban Dictionary.
So I'm just hip. I'm not actually smart. I'm just like really cool. Okay, good to know.
It's not a bad trade-off.
Street smart or book smart.
Marcellus is both. What did Urban Dictionary say it meant? Out of curiosity.
I just read it and then closed it.
Oh,
it was like,
it wasn't inappropriate. If it's not inappropriate, I don't care. Okay.
It was like basically what you said.
Okay.
A mix between intellectual and analytical.
Sure.
And logistical? Whoa.
And
logical. No, logical. Gee, related. Words.
Okay. So it goes from different points of view. Marcellus is the octopus in an aquarium, and it's like tip of Washington, like almost to Canada, Pacific Northwest. So it's a little, I wouldn't say it's a very large aquarium, but it's an aquarium with an octopus. And he knows that from his plaque, because everything that he picks up, he will remember forever. So someone had read his plaque, so he's like, I know exactly what my plaque says. It says that I live about 4 years. So according to that, I have this many days left of life.
Wow.
So he's like, I think it's like 166 days left. And he's like counting them down. He was captured as a juvenile. So he's been here most of his life. And so he's learned a lot of different human behaviors and things like that. He knows how to get out of his tank through a little slot up top. He's very, very, very smart. Tova is our other character, okay? Tova is in her 70s, I want to say.
Is she also an octopus?
No. She is a human woman.
Okay.
Marcellus is the only
Animal?
creature, yeah,
Oh.
that talks.
This is Remarkable Creatures.
Oh yeah, there could be
A lever?
an elephant at the
Aquarium?
second half of this book. Who knows?
Cool aquarium. This is our aquafant.
Words.
Words.
So Tova is a sweet little old lady who cleans the aquarium at night. And so she is there, and she has lost her son, Eric. He was 18. She lost her husband, Will, a couple years back. So she's alone. She has a couple friends.
I can relate. We laugh, but you know it's true.
You're not old.
This is the only thing going for me.
You should get a job at the aquarium.
Oh my gosh.
She has a friend group that are like younger moms who are just becoming grandmas. It's kind of like I have friends, but no real connections. I have my little job at night. She gets there one night, and the fridge is open somehow. Like the break room is a mess. She's like, what in the world? The takeout containers are out, and she sees
Marcellus.
She sees Marcellus, and he is in the corner, and he is all tied up in cords, like he got stuck.
Oh, no.
And she's like, what are you doing out of your tank?
Marcellus?
Like, yeah, she's like, what in the world?
You silly. You silly.
Yes.
What the fuck is the animal? Octopus? Good grief.
I didn't know what you were trying to think.
I kept going to weird places. I was like, almost said squirrel. I was like, what animal is featured in this book?
Elephant?
I was used to. It just was gone. Gone entirely from my brain.
We need more sleep. Okay. She sees him and she's like, oh my gosh, what is he doing out of his tank? That is crazy. And he like backs up and she's like, she just talks to him like he's a creature and like understands her. And she's like, I am going to take this cord off of you. I'm going to help you. Let me move you around. So he lets her do it. And then he grabs onto her arm and she's like, can an octopus kill me? Like, can an octopus hurt me?
Yeah.
And
got 8 legs
he kind of like
strangle you.
squeezes like he's communicating. And when he lets go, she does have marks all over her arm, like the
suction cups.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like our little bruises. Plus, she's older and it's easier to bruise.
It didn't hurt her, right? I mean,
not bad enough where she was like,
yeah.
It's like therapy, like they do on their back with the hot cups.
True.
Cupping.
I picture it as a hug.
Yeah. I don't see Marcellus as a hugger, but
well, you haven't finished the book.
That's true. You can say that all night long if you want. So she gets him back in his tank, and we learn that. Anyways, we learn that he basically gets out every night because what they feed a lot of him of, he's like, this is for peasants. Like, bleh. He's like, I need a sea cucumber or this type of crab or whatever. So he goes out of his tank and he goes in the other tanks and takes the animals.
What was he doing in the fridge then? Like getting someone's lunch?
Yeah,
Cortova?
I think there were scallops in someone's lunch.
That's my mother's lasagna.
So he literally opened the fridge and got it.
Scallops are fire. I love a scallop. Oh my gosh, I want scallops now.
From Tova, we learn a little bit more about Eric's death, her son. So he learned how to sail, and he was just a good, responsible kid, and he had this job on the pier.
What was his name?
Eric.
Okay.
The most normal name, and that's the one you forgot.
Yeah, Tova and Marcellus.
Eric.
Who's the guy?
He had a job like closing up the pier where the boats go out and in and stuff like that. One night, he left the keys somewhere. I don't know. He was just a responsible kid, and he didn't lock up, and he didn't come home. And they found his boat or a boat out in the water, and he knew so much about sailing, they knew that it was intentional what he did. So the police said, we think that he was responsible for taking his own life.
Aw.
And she's like, that just, especially like leaving his post and not being responsible. Like, she's like, there's just no way.
Is this going to be a murder mystery?
A little bit.
The
I know.
octopus saves the day.
But it's not scary, which I like. So
This is like your kind of book.
I know. Okay.
Why did it take so damn long for you to read this?
So we learned that about Tova. We learned that her brother, they've been estranged for like 10-ish years. Not for any particular reason, just fell out of communication. And kind of that was like her last family left. And he
What was his
in
name?
Lars.
Hmm.
He was in a facility where they were taking care of him, and he passed away.
Oh.
And we learned that Lars is the one who taught Eric to sail and to go on boats and stuff. So that's a little bit of it too, where it's like image of Lars is shifted. So there's also, I believe his name's Ethan, who works at the little grocery store. Now this community is fairly small, I feel like. Ethan is very friendly with Tova. He's from Scotland.
Oh, he's a Scottish lad, is he?
Yeah.
Sorry to all the Scots that watch this. I just butchered your country's accent.
We're really popular in Scotland, so I'm sure that's going to be an issue.
There might be one.
That was sarcastic. Okay. So Ethan takes her to her brother's place and helps her out with that. We're learning a little bit more about Ethan.
How
Then
old is
there's,
Ethan?
I don't know,
Okay.
but he's up there. Then there's Cameron, and he is kind of a hot mess express. He was raised by his aunt because his mom just wasn't together with it, and she is now gone.
Mm.
And his girlfriend just broke up with him because he got fired from his job, and he like lied about it, and he's just like totally oblivious. And
Cameron.
she's like, get out. So he goes and stays with his friends who are having a baby, and he's in a band, and he's just like, what? Like, ugh. Okay.
Life. He's 50?
No, this is Cameron.
Oh, sorry.
Ethan is
Ethan's
50.
50. This 50-year-old dude. Oh, my life. Where are you?
I picture him with like a long, ratty, like ponytail.
Sorry.
Where are you?
But if you're 50 and don't have your life together, that's okay.
And it's okay to like Blink-182.
No, nothing.
I love
Love
Blink-182.
Blink-182.
Blink-182, please sponsor this video.
Give us a shout out.
I just wanted to say all the book things. And then I'm like, Kayla, you're kind of lame as it is. Don't make it worse.
We could easily do a parody and go viral.
Please. Right now. All
Say it ain't so. Spoilers are a go. Turn the light on.
Whoa.
Come to my home.
I can never get the second rhyme. I always kind of do the 3 lines and then I can't ever get the 4th one.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I feel like you're not getting enough credit. That was amazing.
That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did.
I
awesome.
am Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, please sponsor this video. Now I'm just stuck on book things. You listen, we read.
Keep going.
I don't have any more. Sorry.
Cameron does not have his life
Cameron
together.
And
Yeah.
is not 50.
Not sure how he's connected, but he is somehow. Tova is at work, and the boss man is like, Tova, be careful. Wash these windows. Be careful of the floors. Like, I don't want you falling. Like, kind of like a decent guy. And he's like, and also, I have lost like 8 sea cucumbers. Did you hear how hard it was for me to say that?
You're
I have
like
lost-
Marlon telling a joke. Oh, there's a sea cucumber, but it's not actually a sea cucumber.
It was a mollusk.
Mollusk.
He's like, I have lost like 8 sea cucumbers. Like, it's gotta be Marcellus. Like, what would be the
Why's the blame gotta go to the octopus?
Because I don't know.
Who else eats sea cucumbers?
That's a fair question. I don't know.
Someone's just like stealing them and selling them, maybe, but maybe he's exhausted that lead. I don't know. He's like, so I have a clamp and I need a piece of wood. I need to go to the hardware store. I might come back later and close up that little slit because I bet you he can get through there. And she's like, Okay, and I was a little sad for Marcellus.
Oh,
So she she's cleaning, and she goes and she's like, out for your last night of freedom. And he's kind of like looking at her. And this is after nights of her just like coming to his tank and like, just, how are you, you little buddy? Like, just showing him a little bit of respect and kindness and stuff. She says, like, he's gonna close this up. You're not gonna be able to come out again. And he kind of like looks at her right in her eyes and like touches her shoulder with his tentacle and like pulls her in closer. And then all of a sudden,
how? Where is he at?
The tank.
The tank.
She opened it up.
Yeah.
So he's
So she's like thinking, in the back room.
I'm thinking she's like looking at him through the aquarium, like the window. Like, buddy, like the glass.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Like
and
Harry
then like
Potter. You're thinking like Harry
she's
Potter.
like, I can't go through glass.
The glass just like.
Yes,
I should have clarified.
I was so confused.
She went into the back pump room where they have access to him and opened it up, and he's like, and then all of a sudden he just disappears, and she's like, what? And then he comes back with a key.
What?
Okay. So Marcellus says that he collects things on his nights around the aquarium. He finds different things, and he's like, I have 2 superhero action figures, and I have like, he has all these just different little things.
Cereal.
Leather bound.
Yes.
Thingamabobs?
I got 20. So, and he stuffs them into this crevice where the cleaners of his tank like won't see them and stuff like that. So he's like, I used to collect coins, but they were a dime a dozen. Pardon my pun. And
I can't believe you just said
nice.
pardon my pun instead of pun intended, because that was an amazing pun.
Oh yeah, I did intend it. You're right. I'm going to intend that pun.
All right. I think you should intend it all the time.
What? Why was that a 30-second conversation about a silly little pun?
We should make merch that has our funny phrases on it.
So he comes and brings her a key out of all these different things that he collects. And he says he used to collect keys as well, but he kept this particular key because it was the same exact key that he once saw in the ocean when he was a juvenile. And he was swimming around, and it was a key hooked up to, he says, clothes of like a leftover human. Like,
a dead person?
He's like, there were no bones or tissue. That always goes quickly in the salt water. He's like, but there were tennis shoes and buttons from a t-shirt and this key. And I remembered that key was exactly like the key I found at the aquarium. So he's like, so now I know that whatever person that was in the ocean belonged to Tova. And I want to give her this key because I wish I could show her all those things because I know that was her person, and I am sorry for her loss.
Oh, Marcellus, you are such a good.
So
octopus.
Marcellus is has been to Eric's.
But how does he know that it's connected?
Because he remembered the key, and keys are copied. He's like, keys are copied, I guess.
Oh, so he thinks Tova dropped it or something.
He knows that Tova's key matches whatever person's that is key.
Oh,
so that's how
it's
not
like Tova's key, it's like Eric's key.
Yeah.
So he's like, so I think they're connected because
so
Tova's
it could be like a house key or a boat key or something.
Yeah, it's probably their house key, and so he's like, Tova's key matches that other key. So I'm gonna give it back to her, and he gives her her key.
Cool.
And that's where I've ended it.
Oh,
I
know.
know. I know. So come back for part 2,
or
read it yourself from here on out. And it's really good so far. The writing is really cool. The narrator, if you listen to it, is awesome.
I'm interested.
I know. I'm excited to see what happens.